Well, hello everyone. Here to talk about right here is like for Cars 3, the Cars 3 cousin Stalepdy here, and this right here will be some work that I went and put together right here using Illustrator and Photoshop just to be able to draw in this character right here along with the Cars 3 and along with the piston cup right here. It is similar to the Cars tractor tip, but I mainly wanted to do this activity right here just to show everybody here of some examples of some of my graphic work right here is to where that other than in a coloring book that you have right here that I want to talk about right here is the way that I went and drew this character right here, and in places where if I'm going to be adding in some colors right here, I already tested this, and if anybody warns us that I don't know if anybody has tried this before, but really that really of crayon and computer ink, computer printer ink, really mixes, but just to kind of blend in, a few colors, if you want to, like, either that if you don't want to color in the whole character, leave some of the background in there just to kind of see if it blends in very well with the crayons, but really, if anybody warns us that if you're going to have a set of crayons and thinking as to where that number of things that you can do that is it going to blend together, the computer ink, is it going to blend together very well with the crayon, the wax of the crayon. But really that whenever we use crayons a lot of times that we warn to where that there's a certain type of a paper and that these crayons are some old crayons too, so if anybody warns us that if you still have crayons that you've had around for a very long time, and thinking as to where kids that maybe like a daycare center would maybe want her to where that hey, that you got some old crayons there, and some of them don't even have it looks like that you'll be able to sharpen it. And I know if anybody warns us that a lot of times with crayons though that whenever you what's the best ways of how to sharpen them just to make sure that they got a good fine point right there, but you got the Cars character right here for Stalepdy. But I want to mention about for Cars 3 that the idea that I came up with was talking about is to where that the cousin, it would be Lightning McQueen's cousin for the third film, and I'm like, if anybody warns us that whenever you see the movie in the theaters and just thinking about as to where that do you think that from overall for what you expect from the film, and then maybe that you actually go see the film. But that was about 4 years ago whenever I was talking about that, about if there was going to be an upcoming sequel, and I was like summer 2017, and I was also thinking about as to where that Cars 4 for parking, or I'm like that by summer 2023 if they're going to have something related to cars or something like that related to parking, or maybe a racetrack, and maybe in parts of Germany or somewhere like that. But this right here is the white. I don't know how many people how many kids have tried using a white just to be able to color in the character, and how often the white gets used. But if we see this right here, these right here will be the headlights right here, the headlights for the character, and with the headlights right here that you would see that using add in a little bit of white right there just to make it look like that the headlights were on. So if anybody say that that during the whole Pixar Cars, I do wonder that that there was like a driving scene from the first one that showed Lightning McQueen on the highway, but I do wonder to where if later on if they're going to have a movie later on to where that they have night racing. I'm like, if anybody warns us that I think if I can remember right, that was during the day from the first film. But anyway, if they're going to have it to where that Lightning McQueen will be campaigning races against other car drivers, other car characters. But anyway, but you have right here for Stalepdy, and if anybody warns us, that's really a word, Stalepdy, and I had this underline right here. And I also included right here is the multiplication table. I'm sure most of us can remember from math class. 1 times 1, 1 times 4. Multiply the ones that go from 1 to 14. And got right here is the pencil right here. If we were taking a test, but on your hand, if we weren't to worry about how many miles do you think that we put on our cars, it's like while we're racing, and you have right here is the black, but still that with the characters that the character I put together right here is supposed to be like Stalepdy, and like I mentioned from 4 years ago, that it's supposed to be the cousin of Lightning McQueen, and this is a character, of course, I made up, of course, and if anybody warns us that they watched this and they're like, warned to where, who's Stalepdy, and but still, that for being an artist like me, that maybe not everything that we see right here is going to be what you call, match up, like say, for anything that goes on with Pixar films. So this right here will be a simple right here for like Cars 3, but of course the way I have it written, shown right there is that it looks like at the car lot or somewhere like that. But so if anybody warns us that a lot of things, I keep thinking too that it's all just made up, ain't it? But still, not everything I talk about is all made up either. But really, that I just want to mention about is like for Stalepdy, that knowing about is to where that most of us have seen, from the activities I put together about the Cars coloring books, and just show anybody here about what my illustrations look like by printout. So this is an actual print right here I went and put together with this new character right here. And if anybody warns us that who's supposed to be the voice actor for this character right here, and say for like Stalepdy, I was thinking about, I'm like, typical voice actor, it's it'll be somebody knowing that exactly who is supposed to be Stalepdy. Like he looks like kind of like maybe a little bit like Doc and maybe like any other character, but this for the cousin. But if most of us know that when we look at a coloring right here, as you see these 3 lines, and I can remember this back when I was in school, that usually if it's 3 lines, it contains, if you say like the sentence fragment, not just Stalepdy, but Stalepdy, or if it's Stalepdy, but anyway, but 3 lines, and then if it's for action verbs, action words, or 2 lines means it's like it's just a type of sentence fragment, but the typical language that usually they say that if you see 1 line and then that's possibly it's spelled incorrectly, but and then for cousin, so you weren't where a lot of those Cars characters, do they have any family members? I'm like, are they related to any particular character based on the movie? And on your hand too, about how many of them you say they win the Piston Cup right here, and just think about it, as to where that they win the Piston Cup. But what about the Golden Wheel, huh? Like I say that puncture, probably like, and I don't know if anybody warns us that gold maybe means heavier. I'm like, if they win something like that, and then how are they going to be able to draw are they going to be able to race? If it's like the gold wheel, like I drew a shadow right down here, but I can go ahead and maybe put a little bit of red right here. If this is supposed to be like Stalepdy type character. And one activity I was working on before, of course, was talking about with Stalepdy being the son of one of the cement trucks. So if anybody wants us to, or if you want to do character design, then it's like, say for one right there, if you want to do any kind of character design, and thinking as to where that that with these characters, are they really related? Is one of them supposed to be the son or daughter of this character? Are they supposed to be just their best friend, or are they supposed to be what you call they make a model of a certain company or the certain engine part, or maybe just what you call like a like I am from Australia, or something like you go to another country and you have these different cars, all these other cars, if it's rusty old cars or something like that. But anyway, but talking about for for the cousin of Stalepdy, but if anybody warns us that you see the film and then I think we're driving day or night, and number one right there for Cars 3. But other than that, for Cars 3, cousin Stalepdy, thanks for watching. Have a great day.